Okay, so hello. I'm glad you guys were all able to get on. I'm going to there's a ton of stuff we want to cover, so we're going to kind of race through it since we only have about 40 minutes. I'm just going to start with going over some inspiration. Like some of you know, every Monday night I go see Eric Thomas. He is currently the #1 motivational speaker in the world. If you type him into Google, it's crazy. He actually lives a few hours away from me, not even. And so I'm super lucky that I get to go to he does a success series. Hi, Kelly. She does this success series at a university near me. So I just love to share. He's incredible. Look him up on YouTube. But I'm just going to read through some of the stuff really quickly. So some of the stuff that he shared was it's really important that we have a blueprint of our life. So if I had you all right now, just for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, shut your eyes and imagine like your dream life. So just shut your eyes and imagine your dream life. Okay, so now open your eyes, and that is your blueprint. So basically the point of that is a lot of people come in and they say, you know, well, what's your why? What's your goal? What's your dream life? And people are like, to make a lot of money and be successful. But like, what does that really mean to you? Because that can mean a lot of different things. And sometimes we like think that knows what it means and then it doesn't. And we're not pushing ourselves because we don't have a concrete goal. Like we need details. So for example, when I did that exercise, I was thinking like, I imagine myself having a beautiful home. I know I like a farmhouse kind of rustic style home. I want, you know, a place that I have a lot of property and place for kids to run around one day. I know I want 2 kids. I know I want dogs. I know I want my husband and I to like be financially stable. I know that we want to do something in real estate. I know we want like for our kids college to be paid for. And like those are kind of the things that I imagine. I want a house up north on a lake to go to. And so like those are like my like goals. Like that is what I want in life. And those are the things that kind of make up like our dream boards. But it's just really important that like that snapshot that you got, that is like what you are always going back to. So it's not, I want to make money and I want to be successful, because that's not enough. That's not enough to push us. We need those concrete goals so we're actually able to check things off our list as we do them. And, you know, he stresses so much that the power is in the tongue. So, you know, you need to wake up every morning. And for me, like every single morning need to say, I'm going to be a millionaire, or I'm going to have this house doing this for my rest of my life. And I'm going to have this many kids that are going to be able to do this, this, and this. And my husband's going to be able to do this, this, and this, or whatever. But you need to put it into action. You need to say it. It's the power of the tongue. And so, basically he told the story, and I'm going to tell a short version of a long story, but basically he has 3 siblings. And so when they were little, his dad went through and was taking a video of all of the kids, and they were lined up. And so they went to the youngest girl or whatever, and was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she goes, okay, Dad, I want to be a teacher. And to this day, she is a teacher. They went to then the brother, and he said, okay, Dad, I want to be a cop. And to this day, he's a cop. And to then the next daughter, you know, what do you want to be? And she goes, I want to be a teacher, just like my sister. And to this day, she's a teacher. And then they got to him, and he said he was kind of always like the more troublemaker and kind of the jokester of the group. And he looks in the camera and he goes, Dad, I'm going to be a millionaire. And they all laughed at him. They were like, oh my goodness, like, you know, way to dream big. Like, that's never going to happen. There's no way. Doesn't even, you know, like, that's not even like a real job or what we were expecting you to say. And to this day, he's a millionaire. And he's the #1 motivational speaker in the world. And so I just thought that was like the power of the tongue. That is why you have to wake up every morning and say these things to yourself, because they're not going to happen in the snap of the finger. And they're not going to happen in a day, in a month, in a week, in a year, but they're going to happen if you keep saying them every single day. It took him 40 years to get to where he is, but now he's living his dream life. He's changing lives. He lives life on his own terms. He is making money while he sleeps. And it's that residual income concept that we all look for to support that dream life of ours. Okay. So tell yourself, yes, I want to be a millionaire every day, or what it is that you want to be, what you want to do in your life. Tell yourself, I got to take control of my life. I need to take control of my financial future. Your level of exposure in life will determine your level of success. So what you go through, use it to drive you and to push you to success. And another thing they stressed were, what are you doing in the holes of your time? So when you're just sitting in the car while somebody else is driving, when you are just laying in bed, when you're sitting on the job between practices while you're waiting for kids, when you're going to pick up a friend and you're waiting there for her, you know, those holes of your day. You know, we say we're all so busy, but in those holes, what are you doing? And the way that you spend your free time now is going to shape your life. And if you're not careful, it will cost you your life. So use those holes to your advantages. You guys, majority of these people, like, he had a guest speaker there and who does real estate and has become a millionaire from real estate. And he's like, I did it in the holes. Like, I was a cop and I just did real estate. I fed it into those little holes. I flipped a house every couple hours, like an hour, 3 days a week, let's just say. You know, I did it in the holes, and now he's a millionaire from that. He's no longer a cop. So work in those holes, and our business is prime for that. You know, so many people work full-time jobs. I'm a teacher. I work over 40 hours a week, and I go to the gym every day. We're all so busy with different things. Some of us have kids, some have college. So we've got to work it into our holes to kind of shape our future. Your greatest asset is time. So be your own boss, work hard for the next 5 to 10 years so you can have time freedom and all of that for your future. And the last thing was become a fortune teller of your life. So look back in 40 years and say, you wrote this all down. This is exactly what you said was going to happen, and you made it. You did it. But you gotta have that blueprint, like we talked about in that exercise of what you thought of in that moment. You gotta have that blueprint, and you have to know what you want. You have to say it. The power is in the tongue. Mm-hmm. So that was just a little bit of inspiration from him that I wanted to share with you all. We're gonna move into, what do I have next? Oh, really quickly, followers. It's super important. We're going to touch on daily 6 that you're growing your network, growing your followers on Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. So what I decided was we're going to all start like a followers log, if you can see this. And so basically I just put today's date and how many followers I have. And then we're going to do every Wednesday, since we do calls every Wednesday, and we're going to add every date on each date how many we have. And that's going to help us just be more accountable. And it's actually like a visual for us, because sometimes we don't even realize that we're not growing our followers, or if we're going backwards, or how much we're growing. And, you know, we need to like recognize that success too when we are doing something. So if you could all, or even just in your notes in your phone, if you don't have paper, I just titled it followers log. I put today's date, so October 23rd, and I put how many followers I have. Okay. Oh, that's awesome, Maggie, that you're doing that. Okay. So, and then we'll add to that next week. All right. Next thing is volume and charts. So it is so important that we're having our charts in front of us, you guys, because that is what pushes us. That's what drives us. That is what tells us what our next steps are. If you don't have your charts in front of you, if you don't have your numbers updated, like, that's a problem, because you're not going to know where to be placing your orders. You're not going to know where to move your customers so that you can promote. And promoting, that's your paycheck. That is your future. That's your money. That's that blueprint that we talked about. So I'm just going to use this as an example. Here's a Ruby chart. Looks like this. They get more complex as we go up. But a lot of us are pushing for Ruby, I know. So I'm just going to use this as an example. So this needs to be in front of you. Like, I have copies of mine. Like, I keep them like in my kitchen, in my room, in my car, in my purse. Like, they're everywhere. Like, this is our future. This piece of paper is our future. So you need to have this printed off, and it needs to be filled out. So basically for Ruby, let's just start with, you are this circle that says you. Then you have 3 qualified legs. 1, 2, 3. Qualified leg is 400 volume. So if you don't know this, you're going to want to write it down in your notes or on paper or something. Qualified leg, so these gray boxes mean you need 400 in volume. 400 in volume. So every product we have has a certain amount of points. So for example, coffee is 30, and cleanse has a value, and TFX is 30, and collagen is 29. And so that's on the website. We can send it to you guys if you don't have it. Under that product info, if you scroll down on the website under the product, it'll show the BV. So that is how many points it is, but basically they all have points. So what you do on your charts is you put, once you enroll 3 distributors, 1, 2, 3, I've labeled them A, B, C, you'll put in actual names. Then you put 400 under each of them. As they get customers, you erase and you write the new number. So I cross it off and wrote it under here for a visual purpose, but do it in pencil so you're able to erase, because you're gonna have to erase a lot. So I've enrolled 3 people, person A, person B, person C. Okay, person A messages Andrea and goes, oh my gosh, I just got a customer for coffee. Okay, so coffee is 30. So I take that 400, I erase it, and now she only needs 370. Okay, then she messages me again, I got a TFX order. Okay, so that's 30. So we'd erase that 370 and it would go to 340. And we need to get these each to 0. Now, when I enroll a customer, I can move my order under A, B, or C if I want to help them, because you get paid for everything under you. You get paid for what person A, B, and C enrolls, and you still get paid for what you enroll that you move. You get paid for everything below you. So moving it is necessary. We want to move orders under people under you to help you promote. Okay, so moving is good. So that's why we always stress too, message your leaders when you enroll a customer, because we can help you move it and make sure we're placing it in the right place. And you also need to move that order within 72 hours for it to be able to be moved under somebody else. And you're paid either way. So we might as well move it and help somebody, because that way it's helping them and you. It's helping 2 people, okay? So that is kind of the rundown of this, that for Ruby, you have 1, 2, 3 distributors we need to enroll, and we need to get them all to 0. Qualified leg, 400, okay? And you also need 2,000 GV. So I'm gonna put this in the chat, but GV and PBV, okay? GV is group volume, and then the PBV is for personal volume. So PBV is what you enroll, and that is directly under you. So those 4 customers that you got for your shopping spree, that is your PBV. That is personal volume that you have enrolled, okay? Group volume is everything under you. So your group volume would be the combination of what you have, what person A, B, and C all have added up. That's your group volume. So as you just keep enrolling the customers, you forever need customers, and we're just going to keep moving them, and we're just going to keep growing, and eventually this little diagram chart is huge, and that's amazing. So you need 1, 2, 3 at 400, and you need 2,000 total, 2,000 group volume, okay? Can you guys, if you're able to, drop a 1 in the chat if this makes sense? Or if we have questions, type them in the chat, because we want to make sure everyone understands this. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep going if we're good. So qualified leg, 400. PBV is personal. That's what is only directly under your own. So those are like your 4 customers that you use for your shopping spree. GV is group volume, everything under you. So they need group volume. So you can also stack. So if we got 3 distributors and then we got a 4th distributor, we could stack it under whoever needs it. So A seems to be off to a pretty good start. So I'm thinking I'm going to stack that person and move them under person B or C, because then they're able to get to 400 faster, because both those people are working towards it. So that's why we're all working for distributors, and we're all working for customers. And so that's why I always tell people for stories, let's try, we stagger personal life and business. So I always tell people to aim for 2 product posts a day on your story for customers, and once on your story every single day about joining the business. So that would be 3 things business related. So if you can tie in 3 personal things, like intertwine them, that's a really good way to get people to view your story and get that information to them, because the personal is kind of what draws them in. They follow you because they want to know about you, and they're interested in you, and you're what sells the products, you're what's selling it. And so you pull them in with personal, and then you hit them with the products, and that's kind of that selling point. And the last thing for charts, to be commission qualified, so to get a paycheck, you need to have one of 2 things. you need to either have an 80 BV auto ship or 150 PBV. Sorry, I was reading Caitlin's message. So you need to have an auto ship of 80. So that's like that's about 3 products. Or 150 worth of customers directly under you. So that's those 4. If you're 4 under you from your shopping spree add up, then you're good. But 1, we want to be products of the products. So that's super important that you're trying those products. And 2, eventually, if those customers, one of those 4 drop off and they choose to stop their auto ship, you don't want to have to be worrying about getting a paycheck or not once you're like really into your business. Like if I had to worry about that now, like almost 8 months into my business, like I would be crushed. So, and I'm just so like used to every time I enroll, I'm like, okay, where do I move to? Who's working their butts off? Who's reaching out to me? Who deserves this? Who needs it? Who's ready to promote and all of that? So I highly suggest have those auto ships on. It really does. And your paychecks are bigger than your auto ships, you guys, once you really get going. So you're still like profiting. So that's that. But that's how you get a paycheck. You got to have one or the other. If you go into eSuite, that you can see, if you click on reports and then click on tree viewer, you're going to come up your volume, your PBV, and your GV. So GV is everything under you. Your PBV needs to be 150, or you can set up an auto ship on the auto ships tab. And if you need help with that, just reach out and I can walk you through it. Okay, we're going to move on if we're all good there. The next thing we're going to talk about is daily 6. So the 6 things that we need to be doing daily, and I know we like stress this, but you guys, like, it works when you work. And I've had so many distributors come to me and be like, it's not working, like I'm not being successful. And I'm like, okay, let's run through this daily 6. Are you doing this, 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 and this? And they're like, all right, give me a little bit. I thought I was, but like, let me reevaluate. And then they come back to me a week later and they're like, oh my gosh, I got 3 customers and it works when you work. And oh my gosh, guys, seriously, like, you can't do 3 of them. You have to do all 6, daily 6. And I understand, like, when you're first joining, I was the exact same way. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do certain things on this list. Phase into it, ease into it, but you can do it in this business. You grow as a person. There's so many less, like, it's amazing. Trust the process. These tips have been proven to work. This is how people have gotten to the top of this company and are millionaires. So, you know, there's no reason for us to reinvent the process because we know that this process works. This is what has gotten these people to be so successful. And so we're so lucky that, like, it's given to us on a plate and we just have to do it. We just have to do it and listen and do it. So if you don't have it written down, write this down. Number 1, we need to be following people and growing our networks. So following 100, 200 new people a day on Instagram, add people on Facebook. We usually aim for following women over the age of 18. That's just kind of like our general target. We do have products for men, but majority of our customers are women. So that's kind of that population that we target. I usually go to a friend of a friend, somebody that I can relate to that I know. And then, you know, a lot of times it's friend of a friend, and then I follow people through them, and then I go to their friends and their friends. But just find a picture that somebody has posted, their most recent picture, click on the likes, and go through and follow people that are women over the age of 18, because yes, like Maggie just commented, they cannot be under 18. They need to be 18 to enroll as a customer. And I have found that you get the best results when you are following people who are following more, less followers. It is just scientifically proven that they are more likely to follow you back if they are following more and have less followers. But we aim to just grow that network, follow 100 to 200, and you might only get 5, 10, 20 people to follow you back, but that's okay, because that's 5, 10, 20 new sets of eyes on your products, on your stories every single day. That's huge. Those are potentials for you. And if you're getting even just 10 to 20 every single day, I mean, imagine in a week, that's like 70, 100, over 100. So that's huge. That's huge. So celebrate those little successes, but getting those followers every day is like essential, because we need new sets of eyes on our products. That's how we grow our business. That's how we get customers. So you need to be following and growing that network. I've found to have better success with my profiles on private. People have different views it goes both ways. What I have found though is I feel like when I'm on private, people have to follow me back. So I really have worked that my bio for Instagram is intriguing enough that they're going to want to follow me to then be accepted by me to see my profile, where I sometimes have found that I had less success when I was on public because they didn't need to follow me to see all my stuff. They could creep on me and look through all my posts and they didn't have to follow me. And when they weren't following me, they weren't seeing my stories really. So I've just found to be better to create curiosity and be on private so that they're more apt to follow you. So number 1 for Daily 6, we follow. Number 2, we post. So making a life post, make that life post about you, and then you tie your business into the captions. If you need help with your captions, reach out to me. That was something I had a hard time with when I first joined. Like I was like, I feel like this is like an awkward, like personal picture to business. Like, but seriously, like now it's second nature, and like everything we do can relate to this business, because anything that you're doing, like in your free time or with your family or some fun activity, you're doing that because you have freedom. Like you're able to go do that activity, whatever it is, and still work from your phone. You can still make money at it. Or, you know, this business allows you to be your own boss. So you can go do this, and this at 1 p.m. during the day on a Monday. Like you can work this business into anything. You have the freedom because of this business, or you have the paychecks because of this business. So this business, it allows us to do so much. So if you need help tying business in, let us know. But really make that post about your personal life, whatever you do. So for me, teaching, traveling, my boyfriend, my family, whatever. But then my captions are where you find the business, because the picture, again, is what draws them in. And then they start to read that caption because they're curious, and then we hit them with the business.
And also fake it till you make it. You don't feel bad. If you're like, I haven't gotten a paycheck yet, I can't say anything. You're talking in future tense. Okay. Say, this business gives me opportunity to buy groceries, buy this, buy that. I mean, don't straight up say, hey, I get this amount of money to people, because then the straight up lying. But fake it till you make it, girlfriend. Like, say what this business is going to do for you and use that. So don't feel like just because you're not at this rank, you can't do that. Absolutely. Say what this business does for you, what it's going to do for you.
Yes. When I first joined, I was like, I got to come up with the post to make people join me so I can be successful. So I said, this business, I'm setting myself up to be able to pay my rent in full, to travel Europe, to buy a new car and pay it off. And that's kind of like that. It's in the wording. I'm setting myself up. This business is allowing me to. That way it hasn't happened yet, but it's gonna. Because if you work, it works. So this business has set me up, or is setting me up to travel Europe. I did that, and I paid for all of my paychecks from this business. Buy a new car and pay it off. I did that from this business, from these paychecks. I don't remember what the other one I said was. Oh, pay rent, I think it was. I pay my rent in full off these paychecks now. Like all my bills are on auto pay now. They weren't when I made my first post that they were going to be on auto pay, but they are now. And that goes back to, you guys, the power is in the tongue. Speak it now. Speak it now, because if you seriously mentally believe it and you're speaking it and you're saying it, it's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen if you stay dedicated and you want it bad enough and you see that vision. And that vision is that blueprint that we created for your life.
Tell people, I'm going to go diamond. I'm going to get $2,000 a month. I'm going to get a full-time paycheck for that. Say it, speak it, put it on Facebook, post about it, tell people about it, tell them your vision. Because everyone,
if you say it, it's going to happen.
Right, because everyone is so skeptical about MLM because they know people who quit. Prove them wrong. We need to prove them wrong. That's what we're doing. We're speaking to existence what's going to happen, what this business is going to do for you.
Yes. Okay. So number 1, we follow. Number 2, we're posting life posts. Post them on Facebook too. Post on Facebook too. Quote stuff that's engaging that people are going to want to share. I post stuff about, I don't even know, like fall. I post recipes, whatever is going to keep people watching your stuff. So we just make sure it's not all business, but not all personal. We intertwine them. So posting. Number 3, sharing the biz on your story. So like we said, try for 2 customer posts, 1 post a day to join the business for distributors. So sharing on your story. You should have a story all day, every day. Since I joined this business, I've never not had a story. Number 4, we're messaging customers. So every single day we're messaging to get those customers. Number 5, follow up. So when you get those people that tell you, yeah, when I get my next paycheck. Okay, when are you getting your paycheck? They'll tell you, okay, you write their name down and you write that date because you need to follow up with them the night before and remind them before they spend that paycheck, because they will. Yeah, I'm gonna buy in a week. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put you down in a week. I can't wait to talk to you then. And then you write their name down. You write the date of whatever that day is in a week, and on that day you're checking, and you see that today's date is there, and you message them. We have 10 minutes. So follow up. The fortune is in the follow up. That is huge in this business, and how I've gotten so many customers. And a lot of times people leave you unread, and then you need to reach back up to them. Hey, did I catch you at a bad time the other day? I was just wondering if you were still interested, or if you still wanted to hear more about whatever product. That's usually what I do. I'm just like, hey, sorry if I caught you at a bad time, whatever. But follow up. So everyone that was like an if, anyone who voted on a poll in your story, anyone who liked to post about the business, those are all potentials. Those are all people you should message. So have a follow-up list going with the products they were interested in and the date that you're going to follow up with them. If they say they'll get back to you soon, I usually give about 2 to 3 days, and I write that date down. That's about what I give for checking back in. If they say they want to sleep on it, I text them the next morning, and I'm just like, so excited to hear from you. I can't wait for your results, or so excited. Are you ready to I can get you started? Something along those lines. But make sure we're excited. Like, they feed off that energy. So you need to give them that energy. Be excited. That text has to be so exciting and uplifting for them. I remember when Courtney Bohr wanted me to start on Skinny Coffee as a customer, I was like, oh my God, she's literally being so nice and so uplifting and energetic and excited for me that I feel like I'm gonna let her down, and I don't even know her right now. But if I don't, I'm just gonna let her down because she's so excited for me. That's the energy we need to be giving everybody. I was literally I don't even think I had the money, or I want to try the Skinny Coffee, but she's so excited for me that I have to. I just feel obligated. And now, changed my life, and here I am. So yes, okay. And then last one, self-development, which we're going to touch on later, but you need to be doing self-development, listening to podcasts, reading a book, anything like that. So follow, posting on your feeds, sharing the business on your story, follow up, message, and self-development. Daily steps.
I also recommend start with self-development. Your first hour of the day, commute, whatever, start with self-development. It really sets you up for a really good day.
Yes. Yeah, I listen to it on my drive to work. Okay, and then I'm going to go over our game plan, and then with the time that's left, Caitlin is going to cover some customers. Is that customer data? Does that sound good? Okay, so game plan for end of the month. This is what we need to do. Number one, we need to just strip off the excess. A lot of you are messaging me I got to get this, and I got to do this, and I have to meet this goal, and I have to. Okay, strip off the excess. We're doing a lot of things that we don't need to do, myself included. I don't need to go see a movie. I don't need to go out this weekend. I don't need to go to whatever it is that I don't need to be doing. Do what is required of you. So what is required of me is to get to my full-time job as a teacher and to come home and work this business. Do what's required of you. If you want it that bad, cut out the excess for the next week. Cut out the excess. Do what is required of you. You're doing so many extra things that you don't need to do, and that's getting in the way of your success. So then it comes back to how much do you want it? And of course, we all need a balance in our life, but if you have these goals to reach and you're trying to hit a promotion, whether that's Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, or above, cut the excess out for the next week. Get rid of that. Do what's required of you. That's less stress too. Do what is required of you. I know that when I'm going for a promotion that last week, I'm not going to the gym anymore. I am not going over to a friend's house. I am not I go to teaching, and I come home and I do my business, and that is what I do. That is my routine. So cut out that excess. Number two, we need to be growing ourselves. So that grow yourself, do that self-development so that you can pour into others. So we can pour into these chats that we're doing, and your energy, just like we talked about, that's what we feed off of. Oh my gosh, when I get on our team chats and you guys are just crazy motivating each other and sending quotes and this and that and blowing it up. I'm oh my gosh, my girls, they're on fire. Look at them go, just lifting each other up, and they're so positive. And you guys, we feed off of that. I literally, we all go through times where we're just kind of in a mood, or we're kind of oh, I don't know, I don't want to do it today, but do it today, because your future self in 10 years is going to thank you when you have so much more freedom and you're your own boss, like, because of it. Like, just do it. Like, feed off of these girls. If you need motivation, say in that chat, I need some motivation, ladies. Like, pour into others. But for you to be able to pour into others, your mind needs to be in a good place, and your business is in a good place when your mind is in a good place. So doing that self-development, like we talked about, is super, super important. And we always have more to learn. So just making sure that we are always growing ourselves, always coming on Zooms. I mean, these Zooms are run by so many different people, and they all have different perspectives and different tips and tricks that worked for them. So it's super important. Number 3, we need to be finding the lesson in these things. So, you know, I learned the most about myself in the hardest times in this business. And there were times in this business where I was like, how did this happen to me? I'm going for my biggest promotion ever. My top 2 girls, like, decided that they're just going to, like, be non-existent, or that they want to quit. Like, how could they do that to me? Like, this is going to be a life-changing promotion for me. And you guys, I tripled the work that last week, and I did it. I hit my promotion, but, like, literally, I thought the world was ending. And, like, there have been so many other times in this business where I'm like, oh my gosh, how could this happen? And how could this happen? Like, the devil is going to do everything in their ability to make your successes impossible. And I always tell people, like, when you feel like you kind of, like, hit a halt and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just not getting anywhere. You are, but the devil is doing everything to prove you wrong. Like, don't let it stop. You keep going. When you feel like you're at a halt and you're continuing to push and push and push, I usually tell people that if you keep pushing, that's when that big growth is going to happen for you. That's when that big thing you've been waiting for is coming for you. So just learn from those hard times. They're going to happen, and we just need to grow from them and use them to push us harder. And the last one is you need to move. You need to move. You need to get yourself doing these things. So you're not stuck. You think you're stuck, but you're not. You're convincing yourself that you're stuck. And so we need to, if you feel that way, or you feel stuck, or you feel like you're at a halt, you're not. You're letting yourself, the enemy is telling you you're stuck, and you're believing it. You're letting yourself be stuck. So if you're feeling stuck, take the step. Go do some self-development. Go follow 20 people on Instagram. Go send out 20 messages. Start small, but move. Do something to get yourself started. And yes, I'm going to, because I know we're tight on time, we got about 3-4 minutes, I'm going to hand it over to Caitlin.
All right, so end of the month push. The work you're doing now, guys, this is what's going to pay you in January, February, March. So if you're complaining like, oh my gosh, like my paycheck isn't happening, that's because what you did 2 months ago. You want to have an amazing start to your year. Work now. Do the work now. So people sign up for 3 months. When they stop, people will stop buying and doing their auto ship if you're not following up with them. Okay, it is so important that we maintain our LCs. Check in with them every single month. Hey, how are you doing? Are you loving your products? Do you want to change? Maintaining those people are so important, because the seeds we're planting now, these people are going to be coming to you in January when everybody wants to lose weight. I've already had 3 people say, hey, I don't really want to lose weight right now, but January, I'm coming to talk to you. Okay, you're planting seeds, and those people are going to come for you. So these are so important. Also, for your e-suite, be sure you're checking in on them. Offer that you can do new products. Tell people about the new products. I texted everyone, every single person that's ever worked with me. Hey, we got a new skincare line. TFX is on BOGO. Tell people about this. People love to hear that. Also, your paychecks go backwards if you're not maintaining customers. Okay, your paychecks go backwards if you're not maintaining customers. So it's so important to maintain. But you got this, guys. You have everything you need to succeed. You just need to believe that you do. If you don't know what to do, watch a Zoom. Go on YouTube. Literally, YouTube everything. YouTube every single thing. There's a video, I promise. Go on the Wake Price Lay. This is your craft. This is what you are here to do. This is your craft. Perfect it. All right, go learn about it. All right, yeah. So we're running out of time. We love you guys. As always, text us any questions, okay? But we want you to use your resources. All right, look on eSuite, look on documents, look on Wake Price Lay. We need you to be self-sufficient so that you can teach other people in the future, because you're going to be boss leaders. We're going to have this giant team, and you're going to run your own team. So we need to make sure that we're not spoon-feeding you everything, because you're going to run your own team, girl. All right, so yeah, use YouTube. I in the summer, when I YouTubed everything. I can memorize some of Jade Hooper's videos because I've watched them so much. Okay. Do we have any questions? It's probably going to cut out. But any questions, go on.
Yes, it's going to cut out soon, but just if this all sounds good to you and you got it, thank you for getting on. If you do have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat and I'll answer them. But otherwise, we are here. Send us a message. But it's going to be, you guys, November is going to be crazy. I'm super, super, super excited. And let's push this last week of October. Push, push, push. We got this.
Yes, I want to see everyone's name on that thing. We have $40 cash that we're going to give to somebody, all right? I want to see everybody's name on that